Hello, welcome everybody. This is a second meeting from MCIA in this times in April 2020. In the beginning of that meeting, it was that my computer pushed me out as a host and the group was all connected. And so the group started by themselves and developed something. And I came back and then I could do the recording again. So we jumped just in a moment when Mariana came close to the end of her suggestion, what she gave to the group.
From the ground, you take it. And next time when we will take it again, we can make a step, and the activity from the ground gives us energy to go there, to go to our artistic space all together. And when you feel, make this impulse and make a step, and we will meet all there. Welcome.
Thank you, Mariana.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Daria, for taking it, to managing it. That's great.
Good to be of help.
Thank you for Mariana for taking it. I don't know how it came to it. It was nice. Now we are all in our creative space, hopefully. Wonderful. That's great.
Joerg, we
This is
gave a
what we
few
need.
exercises and you can do them at home and ask questions if you want.
I didn't get it, sorry.
Sorry, Joerg, you missed the lesson, so we would give you exercises that we did to do at home for your homework.
Okay, I think we should just continue with that a little bit moving, if you like, yeah? Because we are now in this space and then we can use that space for this training situation. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go to on our feet. Okay. So, thank you, Mariana, for this entrance. And I had the thought that we go again one time more to qualities of the movement, and also that as a little homeopathic training then for the week. And this is the qualities of the movement in our space. Let's try. Center in the chest, we have the connection to our body, that's wonderful. And let's say for a little bit more movement, we take our nice pizza movement, okay? And you do it with the other arm. And you do it with both arms. And move it very big in the space, a big space. And maybe you can move this pizza movement wider than your little room is. So we do it in the opposite direction with both hands. Take it and you can step with it a little bit. And then we can do it in this backward way with one side. Also move with your body into the space. And you do it with the other arm. Yeah. Maybe you sense how nice it can be with that, or what we call pizza movement. Yeah, gives you a nice sense of your body back again. Another point, with your mind, try to imagine into the space whom you remember from that meeting now. Maybe one, maybe two, maybe three. Don't overstress it. Just try, okay, I would like to connect with, I would like to connect with. You send out, as if you send out a kind of a stream, a kind of a connection wave to someone. Find for yourself. This is a little bit to try also to be in our space as if we are in a common space together. And try to hold this mind connection to one, two, or three of the people. And with this mind connection, you have your center in the chest. You move one time more the pizza, as if you would like to send to these three people your pizza movement through this space beyond your room. And with the other arm, maybe with both. You may listen a little bit with such an impulse for such a movement, that this impulse is going through the air to the other person. We can't know now, is it an illusion? Is it a sense what I get? Do I feel or sense a little bit that there is something going to that three people? Can I put that movement into my imagination to them? And even when you play a little bit, take half a minute or some seconds, play with one movement, send it to them, take another one. Try to reach this 1, 2, 3 person with your concentration on one side and with your movement on the other. And when you bring it to an end, listen to it, to the echo in your body. What does it to your body? What does it to your mind? Is there any sensation, perception? How do you feel? How are you with yourself? And is there any sensation, any thought, any feeling about the three, two, or one of the other? Okay. We stay in our room. That was a little experiment, and maybe we can have a little exchange later on if there is any experience. Is there something in this very short way that we can sense, that we experience something with it? We will see. Now, center the chest. And you know, quality of a movement means that I give a sensation to the movement, that I give a kind of a feeling, emotional sense to a movement. And we can understand that we do just a movement again, knowing what is a movement. It is only at first a movement, it is not a gesture in this way. Sensing this movement, center in the chest and sensing your movement. This movement has a certain power, but it is, on the other hand, very, very in the feeling of ease. Then choose one movement you would like to work for a second visit. Let's say I take something like that, and you give that movement a beginning and an end as a movement. And then this is just what it means. You give that movement a quality. You give it a quality in the meaning of, let's say, you would like to make it as a sharp movement, sharpness. It can be a fast sharpness. It can be also a slowly sharpness. As if your movement is cutting the air. What is the echo in your body? Take another movement, another form of a movement. Sometimes it's then helpful when you have more complex movements to do it forward, backwards, that you know what is a movement. You may try, even when you have an easy movement, forward, backward, forward, backward. And we sense first the movement. And then we give this movement again a quality. Softness. You may, when you move also your legs, give it also to your legs. All parts of the body which are moving, you give them this quality of softness, let's say, for now. And you can do it also in a different tempo, but it can be soft. Softness. What is the echo? We do a third movement, and you may remember we said once, how can we make it? How can we imagine this to give the movement a quality? And there is one suggestion that one can imagine that this movement, when we have the movement itself, this movement meets in the air this quality. As if this movement is touching in the air this quality. We can do the movement first and third one. And we can focus, okay, we touch the air. Aha, my movement is touching the air. On your hand, when you have this question or this possibility to say, touching the air, then you will sense a little bit on the skin. Immediately the skin gets away. It's a movement, touching the air. The movement is touching the air here and is touching the air now here. When you would like to work forward, backward with it. Just experimenting with the movement. And then we can imagine that this quality is not only simply air, this quality is another quality. It is, let's say, pain. This movement is touching in here, always pain. One time more. As if in the air there is a pain penetrating this movement. When you have a forward-backward movement, pain. It's also the same thing with the tempo. We can play with that. And when we have a forward-backward tempo, let's say the backward movement goes into hope. Hope. The air pain, hope. And then do just the movement again, simply the movement, touching the air. How is it working? What does it give as a sensation, as a quality, as an echo? Yeah. This is what I wanted to give you as a suggestion, to use it as one or another homeopathic psychophysical training for the next week, every day 5 to 7 or maximum 10 minutes, to play with such a movement and the quality. And you can also bring that further to do a gesture, a daily life action in a certain quality. You can do a longer daily life or life action, what has a longer movement in it, of course, and give this action a quality. Walking to the table or opening the door or whatever you would like to do. And all the movements, you give them for the first time one quality, just for experimenting, for exploration, for trying out how can you free your body movement to be a movement, how can you free this way to give every movement a quality. It has to do very much with the imagination in this way, with the thinking, the flexible thinking, what I would like to give to my movement a quality for. I have to spark it short before and play with it, have it as an exploration, 5 minutes per day. Maybe if you would like this homeopathic training, and maybe after 5-6 days, you sense, okay, something develops even with this way of creating a quality for a movement. So here we are, everybody is possible to speak again.
Joerg,
Yes.
I have a question. Sometimes I'm going like out of myself and looking from the outside, and then I'm saying, okay, now I did this with the quality of hope, and I did this with the quality of pain, and I, from the outside, say there is no difference. You need to radiate a difference, and something from here is like directing myself. So I don't know what I want from you, but that's what I feel sometimes.
So it's maybe it's a question about that, how to manage it, how to give a movement a quality. Yeah, and what you describe, it is for that little exercise not needed to see yourself from another point of view from outside. It just, I think, would say just the opposite. I'm very much connected with my center in the chest, so that I can have the sense for my movement, that I know my movement, and my mind is sensing the movement because I want to have an effect out of that image that I move into something as a quality with it. or I give directly my movement a quality. But the general training, as I like to suggest, is having the clear movement, the sense for the movement. And then you can give this with the imagination. There is sharpness, there is joy, there is hate. There. But it is the awareness is for the movement, and the quality is in, it's hardly to say because it's not in this way so physical in this way, but the quality is with the movement. And the aim of that is that I, through the quality I give to my movement, I get a certain specific sensation, a certain feeling. What arises when you try that, at least in your full body, you can sense this quality in your full body. It's an experience. I can only say how, for me, this experience is developing in this way. And I would like to suggest to you, experiment with it, try it out. How is it possible that I can give a very simple movement a quality, and that out of this movement, I sense afterward this as a feeling, what I gave as a quality. This is for a lot of movements a very important step, I think, especially later on in the psychological gesture, to give the psychological gesture a certain quality. Without the quality, the movement without a quality, it's not a full psychological gesture. And it is also a very funny exercise to wash your face with a certain quality of this movement, or put the cup to someone, giving someone the cup with a certain quality. The movement is quite clear. You can do this simple movement, then give it with a certain quality and sense for yourself, okay, what happens afterwards in me? Even that can be then when one is stepping to the table to deliver the cup. Even in the stepping, in each movement, I give each stepping this quality, what I would like to radiate and even to sense as a feeling in myself. I don't know if that is an answer. The other point, what we did in the last time, that was more that one is, I'm doing a movement and then I imagine my movement in connection with my body and in connection with the space. Then I would agree with. This can lead to these that I'm sometimes can really go a little bit outside, because I move forward and then I have to be behind myself to sense the movement, what to see, imagine the movement. Aha, that wasn't, how have I done it? Can I do it backward? Can I imagine it now first and do it? That was from last week, to try out to do a movement and find the image of the movement. And Mark had the question last time, how shall I imagine it? And this is, yeah, how shall I imagine it, and how shall I describe it? What is sometimes very difficult to describe, this field of these imaginations, images. This field gives you then sometimes too fixed thinking to see it as a picture. But on the other hand, it is you see something what you not see, even when it is now behind you. How can you imagine this movement one step forward from this place to this where your body is in? Can you in this way see yourself, but with other words, don't picture yourself, but see yourself. This quality, this subtle quality of that substance of imagination in this way, yeah, this is to explore, I think, for yourself. And of course, when we meet again, maybe it's one time more to experiment it and to speak about that and develop this sensation in practice. So could you manage this in this short moments with these qualities? Is it a suggestion to you to maybe to try to experiment with it, to develop it, to bring it more and more into your artistic body as a enjoyable task to play with that? It can be very, very playful. Just give a spark of a quality and then do a movement with this quality and then another and another, and changing, playing around with that.
Yeah, and I would like to share.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting because it immediately arised kind of at an atmosphere as well.
Mm-hmm.
Without thinking on it, just with the quality of the movement, suddenly, yeah, something like, yeah, the sensation was different. So, but kind of an atmosphere around, even though maybe I was just moving the arm, but it arose something. And it was interesting that I figured out that when it was slow, like with a slow tempo, for me it was easier to keep going and to make it grow and to go more into that sensation. But when it was, okay, so now try it with the fast tempo, it was, okay, something like, it was different. So for me, it's gonna be interesting that trying, how is it like to make it bigger as well when the movement is faster. So I don't know if it's related something with the tempo to be, if it's slow, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, anybody else such experience with that?
Slow is easier for me as well. Yeah, it's sort of like easier to capture the sensations. I mean, yeah, I sort of felt hope was kind of pulling me back nice and slowly. You know, hope was sort of doing its job in some way. But pain was, and the fastness of going there was more difficult. Yeah, I thought that too.
Someone else?
Yes, after the quick movement, sometimes when I look back, I go, well, what did I do? I don't know what happened. Did I do it? Did I not do it? It's over. Try again.
Okay, okay. Yeah, then it's very good. It's, of course, first in this way easier to sense it with a slow movement, yeah, because you're not so much surprised. You are more in this way sensible also for that what you're doing. But try out to find it. How is it with a fast movement and a slow movement in the same quality, so that we also can overcome to study that some qualities we relate immediately to a tempo, but it doesn't need to be this tempo. And some qualities don't suggest immediately a tempo. It's just for exploration, just experimenting. And it's also with a fast tempo, repeat that, repeat that, repeat that, with a pause. That you do it fast and listen. Does something happen? Is there something in the echo? And do it again. Can I strengthen this sensation of the echo by repeating? And do it again. So it is also this, to develop this sense for this sensation. There's a limitation of my English, sorry. That I can really develop, okay, this, I know how it feels like. I develop the sense for that, how it feels like when I give a movement a sensation.
Yeah, and maybe when you try with different tempo, you discover different sensation for the same sensation. I mean, no?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true. That's true. It is
Interesting.
shifting a little bit the quality. It's of course a slowly brutality, and fast brutality is of course, even from that words, from the understanding, it has a different quality, but it can be brutality, for instance, or some quality of a nice movement with softness, or with loveliness. Fast loveliness is of course something different. This has to do, how can I play with my movement, that when I do a fast movement, that I'm not too much. That's sometimes a difficulty, that I'm not too much in my muscles, that I'm not too fixed, so that it is not too much tension in it. Fast movement is also very much in the feeling of ease. That's a movement part of the training. Okay, maybe you have fun and joy to try out that as a homeopathic training in the time until we meet next time. For another homeopathic imagination training, I don't know, we were interrupted by my question, what happens, did you do that with this bud to observe every day, the bud, how is the development through a branch with a bud, or only the bud, what is the development through this 5-6 days, and how can one imagine how it will be in future, next day, and then next day looking, and then change the image to the real process, and then imagine for the next day, the next. I don't know if anybody has done that, but this is also a nice imagination exercise, and we said that this exercise can has the aim to develop for this observation, for the clear observation, a kind of a sense of truth, that I can relate my imagination to the reality. When I want to have an imagination what is related to the reality, just with such a process. I don't know, you know, these meetings, they are absolutely free, and I don't want to give you a that feeling if anybody has not done such funny exercises. It's just a suggestion to try out these. I will write that from the last time also to the group who is getting all the mails, and then you have that from the last week, and I will also write this from this week now, and you may feel free if you do that as a homeopathic training. I really think it's funny to do it for 10 minutes in a day, 5 minutes imagination, 5 minutes psychophysical, or 7 minutes psychophysical, to see what happens when I do it 6 days long, 7 days long. I have fun with that. I have really fun with that, to try out also to understand this homeopathic training. Is it worth to do it or not? I don't want to give an answer now. The imagination exercise is just one from Chekhov, from the book, and it's just one we have already done, but it is also in this time very nice to imagine how a seed is growing from a seed. The plant is growing, a flower is growing, choosing a seed, you know, for a plant. Imagine it, how it is growing, and until the blossom. And it is also nice to develop it further, how it is dying again. If it is a one year plant, yeah, 1 year flower. So, and this also trying out to lead that process, is movement in the imagination. Lead the movement in the imagination by your own will. And it is, of course, always free to stop it, to explore what happens in the mind when I'm doing this, when I try out to imagine how a little plant is growing. So the preparation with a bud from last week, that was a kind of a preparation for that full exercise with imagining a plant, to give your will into your mind, into your images. I will write you that. So that was a training session. So we had today simply a training session in this way. And I hope a little bit you enjoyed it or can take it as a suggestion for your own exploration, to explore all the Chekhov tools more and more. And I feel this is a very important point to develop this, and maybe we can develop it everybody individual, if you like. One can develop it also sometimes in connection with someone else. I take my chair now. And I don't know if you are still connected with this 1, 2, 3 persons, or if you lost it then. Even when you lost it, it's not a problem. Yeah. This is really a question about this way of meetings and trainings. Is there a possibility that I can create mentally a mental reality? Can I create something? Am I aware of it? That I not believe the picture I see here, this is my connection. This is not the connection. The connection can only be from me to you, and not to the people on the screen. The people on the screen, that's very abstract. That's that. And we have learned through our culture to believe that this is a kind of a reality. It is a kind of reality. But we have to understand what kind. It is one. It's of course a reality. But what is the quality in it? And I'm still in the research. I'm doing all the sessions, but I'm still in the research to try to understand what happens there. Not to this way to criticize it, even when I speak some aspects, what I try to explore deeper, what is not so amusing for me. This way it sounds then maybe a little bit critical, but I need to try to find out what happens there. And this is also something to try to create the connection to you in this space, and not to you here in this picture, sondern just in the other way. I see you there, you are looking in this funny camera, I'm looking to the funny camera, and the camera is seeing me, and maybe through this camera you all see me, and everybody sees through this camera all the other. Okay, yeah, that's good, that's one thing. And but what is the other? To maybe to find out a possibility step by step. Can I radiate to? Even when I see only the name, not the camera. And I have a first experience with that. There is something working, but it is extremely difficult when I try that in sessions where I have people I don't know. People I know, like all of you now, it is much easier. It's anyway hard. It's not, well, I do that, I radiate to everybody, I have everybody. Not for me, maybe for someone else it's easier. But this is much more possible than to people I don't know. There is a very hard process. I try to learn it, I try to understand it. It has to do with the theme I had discussed with Lisa Dalton, and Ophir was sometimes in our sessions, the higher ego and the creative individuality. It has to do with that. It has to do with that, what we also have heard once, with this sense for the I of the other. How do I sense that the other person is a human being, is an individuality in life? Through what sense? What is this sense? That I meet another person, another individuality, the I of the other. I only, everybody can say to oneself, I'm here. So, and when I mean you, then you are there, you are there, you are there. And how can I strengthen and develop the sense for the I of the other? I think this is one of the wonderful questions, a wonderful provocation in our time to develop these. And not mixing up the picture of someone as I meet this person. It's a big question. Please don't think I want say to you that you have to think in the same way. I only want to share with you some of my questions, and in the way of exploration, I try to find out something about that. The sense of I for the other. And this with the 12 senses, maybe it's really a deep theme, what has to be connected more and more with the Chekhov work. It is in all these things, it is involved, but never spoken out. I haven't. And this is in the circle of the 12 senses. This is number 12, if you give them numbers here. One of the highest sense. And there are higher senses, and there are the normal senses. We are born with it. We smell, we taste, we touch, yeah. And this sense of the I, of the other, for the other, I think it has to do with developing a sense also for the higher ego of oneself. If I develop the sense of for the other, I also become more awake to sense what is it, what is my higher ego. Oh, this. Very interesting, on the opposite to the sense of the I of the other is the touching sense. I don't go through the 12 now, it's the last one. The touching sense, what does it give us, the touching sense? Very interesting point. Normally in daily life, we think we touch the other objects. That's true, but this is then a combination of the touching sense and of the movement sense. The touching sense gives me a sense about my own border. Here I am. Here I am. I am here. When I touch some, this is me, there. Here is my border. It's me. This touching sense gives me the, how to say that, what is the word? The experience that I am there. This is a kind of a polarity. It's very interesting. And you see, even when you look to the pictures, I do the same. Yeah, now self-touching. What is self-touching? It's so amazing. It's so interesting. Yeah, through the self-touching, I have a little bit the sensation that I am real in this moment, in this position where I am. When you try it out one time, it's very funny. That's the last thing. when you stay naked somewhere and have only your funny feet on the ground, and you are standing only in a no self-touching, but you touch the ground, of course. What is it, a kind of sensation? Of course, when there is a wind, and the wind is also touching the touching sense. And so that you sense again, I'm here. It's very, very nice to explore. That's the opposite to that. How can I develop step by step the sense of the I for the other? Okay, maybe that's so far my input for tonight, and I don't want to extend it too much for now. anybody would like to say something, but let's say before we give a little reflection or a question, we step out of this creative working space in this way, and then we have a little chat for closing up. You can do it mentally, fully, or you can do it just physical. So then at least I would like to finish. Is anybody coming with a question, or has anybody brought a question? Then please let me know just in a short moment, or you write me, and then I can go next time maybe also to some of the questions. If you would like to come next Thursday back again, you can also come with your experiences of this little training with the questions, even with questions you have got through your own training in the meantime, or with some other things. And we will decide then what can we answer in this short time of the session. Or is it possible that I can answer? I don't know. So, how is it? What is there something you would like to say for tonight?
I would would like to say that it was really great to do it like that online altogether, because I do it with you like that first time. I don't count our Russian sessions because it's a little bit different for me. I'm not really participating. I'm helping you there and translating, and I'm a little bit out of the practice there. And here I'm amazed how it works. And I started to see a lot of advantages in this online meetings, because first of all, even if we wouldn't have this time of the quarantine, but it's really nice, I don't know, for people who are now in the modules, for example, to connect in between the modules like this and not to lose this. And also when it's not like I'm not a part of the modules anymore, but it's so nice, especially when you gave this idea about imagining few people in the room. And I feel that something changed in the atmosphere of my creative space after that. And I feel really connected to different people, and gives great feeling, because in this group, there are many people from, I don't know, some from your modules, some already started different, and it's really great. It's something that sometimes only through online we can get, because people from different countries, if they don't come. And when we were doing the exercise, it worked for me like really great, like in real training. I'm amazed by that. Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone, because when we put our concentration in that, it also gives something. I don't know. You can feel something. Great. Thank you.
Joerg, I think I just want to say that I agree, and I just want to say thank you. And you talked a lot about how you want to connect, and it's very hard for you. I think that for the people who come to learn with you, something already happens when they step into the zone.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be hard, because you don't need to do almost anything for us to feel something. We already with you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm explaining myself. So
yeah.
just for knowledge, it's very, very good, this connection, I feel.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
I found it not so easy. I felt the difference when I try to connect to some other people, and I really felt them. But the sitting in front of the screen is very hard for me to concentrate. I get tired very quickly. So when I step away and just listen and concentrate on the people and not look at your pictures, then it's okay. But if I see all these pictures and see people talking or moving, and for me it's hard to concentrate, I have to say. But the connection worked. That's true.
Yeah, Alex, it's also sometimes helpful to have the speaker view, yeah, that you not have.
Yeah, I had that.
Okay, yeah, but it's, I can understand what you mean. Yeah, thank you. Someone else?
For example, for me, yeah, I agree with Mariana and Ophir. So nothing else is needed. We are all, like doing it with you. So yeah, I don't know. You make it so easy that we are stepping there. So yeah, but with the other thing is that I'm trying some classes as well, doing it with people like this, with some friends and colleagues. And what I figured out is that I have to have like everything super clear in my mind. Like if I see myself being in the other side, so it's like, okay, so this has to be non-stop. I mean, like doing some stops, but having it everything so so together that I know where I'm gonna start, when I'm gonna finish, so to lead them, because it's like after 2 hours, yeah, I think that it's like the maximum that people could be there, like trying it. But that's what I experienced, that it's like, if I have it clear in my mind what's gonna happen, it's good. If I doubt, I think that they know that I'm doubting, so they will feel like, so it's weird because you are not there with them. And yeah, it's very easy to disconnect if you are not following. So what I found is that, yeah, that it has to be like even though we stop, it has to be something, an activity going on to keep them, I don't know, like with you. So it's something, it's very weird. That thing that you have to be all the time, so they don't, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, very good described. Yeah, it has to do, it's very much with the concentration. Yeah, it's an interesting thing to, it's nice to explore in this situation, to take it as an exploration and getting awake of that, what happens and how does it happen, and what is a reality and what is a healthy process and what is a not so healthy process, what makes me so tired and what gives me something, also life back. It's very interesting.
Can I also say something?
Of course.
It's very interesting, Joerg, what you mentioned about the communication and what's behind the screen, what's behind all these icons. That these are not just pictures and images of people, but real people. And that we are real, we are alive, we are moving, we are breathing. Yeah, this we're sensing, we can touch ourselves at least. And this is why I'm thinking about it now, is just I've been talking about it today with my students, holding my classes, and I felt at some point that they are discussing something without actually believing they're talking to real people. And now I'm starting to think what is happening and how to break through, basically, how to help them to break through, how to break through myself, how to see real people behind the images, behind all these little 50-something icons, or well, fewer or more, that depends. So thank you for bringing this up. Thank you for sharing, because this is a huge thing we need to work out in this in this situation, And it doesn't matter whether we are all in different parts of the world or just sitting next door, next room, next flat. Doesn't matter at all. So we are together, we're connected, we are isolated. And from the previous class as well, from the previous session, this sense of isolation and connection. This, I think, is very important, not only in terms of acting and drama, which it is, but also in terms of just real communication. So thank you. And yeah, I didn't feel any difference while we were experimenting, while we were, I mean, it was like in the real training, like in the real atmosphere of the room, of the people around. I felt connected.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. Thank you for the echo. That's good. Mm-hmm.
Can I say one thing? So maybe I dropped in a hello.
Yeah, hello.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It's because I dropped in so late, but I have a question to the radiation. Is there an intention or not when I'm connecting to other people? Like, is there an intention of like focusing on a shoulder of someone else, or you know? Because I don't.
When you specify this question in this direction, then I would say no. It goes to the individuality, not to the physicality.
So it's more like the intention is more the connection then.
Yeah.
Itself.
Yeah. I think we can't discuss it now here. Not that I could say something to it, but it is now it takes too much explanations, too much time, and it's better to have also some experiments in a real room with that. How can I sense another person? How can I radiate to the individuality? How can I sense the individuality of someone else? What is it? You may try out in daily life and to try to develop that as a question first, and then maybe as a sense. What is the individuality of the other? What is it? The makeup, the clothes, what I see. Yeah, of course, also what I see. There's something. But what is it? How is it? Where can I say she is this, he is that, he is as he is? Yeah, it's just really a big question. It's not absolute easy answer. It is one of it's the highest sense, and this sense needs step by step to develop. It's not naturally, in this way, naturally given anymore.
So it works with the feeling area then, still with the center in the chest, right? Or
this is a very, very important source, very point where you can start to. And it is now when we do that from the center, but we have to do it also with our mind. Yeah, it's a very good question. It's not easy to answer. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do it in this way, and then you have it. No, try out. It's you will explore something. You will explore something when you do it in daily life.
Yeah.
I
found it already. Okay. Yeah.
Karina?
I just when you suggested we think of three people and connect to the I of those three people, felt like it was quite a joyful feeling. And then that caused me to think, would I ever be able to feel that somebody was connecting to the eye of me in that, you know, would that ever be a case where you could receive, you know, or feel I wondered. I didn't feel it, but I wondered, you know.
Yeah. I can understand when it comes to that question.
And I suppose maybe trust or some kind of trust is the answer in some way, you know. And so much of the work is about trust, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway. It was thank you to you and to everybody, and Maria for the lovely meditation with the center of the chest. Yeah, it was lovely. Thank you.
Okay. So everybody, it's night here in Berlin. It's night in Ireland. It's night.
A little bit earlier.
And thank you very much that you joined, and maybe you can join and find the time next Thursday. And thank you very much for joining, for coming, and let me know when you have further questions or something you would like I should bring as a theme. You know my address, you can write me, and then I hope to see you next Thursday again. And thank you very much for coming now, saying goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Imaginary golden hoop.
Yeah, golden hoop.
Yeah, we can come back to that. We can do that. Everybody can take the golden hoop. That's also a funny thing. Who is just here? The left people. Yeah. So can we see us? It's a little bit funny, but it's an experiment. We can do it when we have the all cameras on. Okay, if one not like, but these people can see us, and we can do it as a movement together.
I have a problem with my video. I have to switch it off.
And you can see the others.
I can see the others, that's good.
Yeah, even when your camera is off.
Yay.
Thank you, everybody. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I was kicked out of the conference at the most interesting part.